Welcome to the Vulnerable Room. All right, y'all. So let's get into some book reviews. As promised, these are some books that I've read, not recently, but I didn't get a chance to review it. So let's get into it. So the first book, When You Are Mine by Kennedy Ryan. This is a part of the Bennett series. This is the first book of the Bennett series. And I read the entire Bennett series, so I recommend you to do the same. After you read the first one, you're going to want to read part 2 and part 3. So When You Are Mine by Kennedy Ryan, this book got me. It got me. Kennedy Ryan captures the heartbreaking space between desire and impossibility. Wanting someone so deeply, feeling the instant connection, yet knowing you can't have them. The chemistry was crazy. The way her pen game is so fire. So fire. The tension was like torture in the best way, but you wanted to keep reading to find out what's going to happen next. And the drama and the emotional depth, like Kennedy never misses. It's a story about love, timing, loyalty, and the pain of holding back when something in you wants to give in. If you ever love someone at the wrong time, this book will stay with you. So it's beautiful. It's an emotional read. So 10 out of 10 definitely would recommend. I also read Grown Woman by Sarah Johnson. And let's get into that review. So Grown Woman by Sarah Johnson. I really enjoyed this book. It beautifully explores the generational trauma between mothers and daughters and how love, or the absence of it, starts in the home. When someone has never been taught how to love or to communicate, it's hard for them to break those patterns because this is what they are taught. And the book shows that so well. I did wish the ending had a bit more depth and it got slightly, repetitive. But overall, it was a strong emotional read. I fully understand the hype about it. So I will rate this book, I would say a 9 out of 10. I'll give it 4 stars. Now, the next book that I read is entitled One by One by Frida McFadden. This book, I'll be honest, this one missed the mark for me. Okay. One by One felt repetitive and redundant. And at times it gave very strong Never Lie vibes. If you read Never Lie and then you read this, you'll see what I'm talking about. There were multiple moments where I felt like I had already read this story before, which took away from the suspense. After the first few chapters, the plot became so predictable and the repetition made it hard to stay fully engaged. The twist, which is usually where Frida McFadden shines, didn't shock me at all this time. With all due respect, it did not shock me. I was expecting more, especially based on her track record, but it didn't land. Overall, this wasn't a memorable read for me, and I honestly could have done without it, no shade. But I've read much stronger books by Frida McFadden, so I know what she's capable of. That's why I'm speaking from this stance. So this just wasn't it for me. So I will rate this book a 4 out of 10. I give it 2 stars. Now, this book right here. Monday's Not Coming by the Tiffany Jackson. When I tell y'all this book broke me, it broke me. I tried to give Monday's Not Coming a chance before and couldn't get past the first chapter when I initially read it. But I'm so glad I picked it back up and gave it another chance. I got lost in this book over one weekend back in January. And switching between reading and the audiobook, this story punched me in the gut for real. It's one of those books that actually had me boo-hooing. My Pisces behind, I'm always emotional, but this book really broke me. Like I said, I was crying. Without saying too much, it highlights how the system fails children It touches on PTSD and shows the very real experiences kids face every day that are in abusive homes. Tiffany D. Jackson is now one of my favorite authors after reading this book. So please add this to your reading list. I give this book a 10 out of 10, 5 stars. 5 stars. If you read any of these, please let me know because I love to hear different perspectives. And I want to know what you rated and see if we have any similarities when it comes to reading some of these books. So yeah, if you read any of this, please comment or hit me in the DMs and we can chat. I love talking about books. All right, so before I wrap up, I want to leave you with this. Just because it's slow doesn't mean you're stuck. Just because it's slow does not mean you're stuck. I think we live in a world where we're constantly measuring our progress against someone else's timeline. I think we subconsciously do it. How many of us do it? I know I do it myself. Let's be honest here. We open social media and it feels like everyone is getting promoted, buying houses, getting married, traveling, launching businesses, or going viral, right? And the list goes on. Meanwhile, we're wondering if we're doing enough. But here's what I've been reminding myself as of lately. Slow doesn't mean stagnant. I repeat, slow doesn't mean stagnant. Sometimes growth isn't loud. Sometimes your biggest season of growth happens in private. Sometimes you're building habits, healing, learning, preparing, and becoming the version of yourself that's ready for everything you've been praying for. We pray for these things like, God, order my steps. God, I pray for increase. God, I ask that you open doors of employment. God, I ask that you lead me to where you see fit, right? But think about a seed. Think about a seed. You don't see what's happening underground before it breaks through the surface, right? But just because you can't see the growth doesn't mean it's not happening. I'm going to repeat that again. Think about a seed. You don't see what's happening underground before it breaks through the surface. But just because you can't see the growth doesn't mean it's not happening. Oh, if life feels a little quiet for you right now, if it feels like everyone and everything else is moving faster, if you've been questioning your progress, please don't mistake a slow season for a wasted season. Keep showing up. Keep planting seeds. Keep believing in yourself because your story isn't over. Sometimes the slow seasons is actually the foundation for everything that's about to happen next. Sometimes the slow season is actually the foundation for everything that's about to happen next. So with that being said, thank you for spending some time with me today in this room. I truly appreciate it. If this episode encouraged you, share it with someone who may need to hear it. This is just a small, gentle reminder. Be kind to yourself this week. Take your time, trust your journey, and remember, just because it's slow doesn't mean you're stuck. Until next time, Roomies, I love y'all. Be safe and have a good week. Mwah. Bye. Come on, y'all. We know these combos ain't for the faint. Thank you for listening to the Vulnerable Room podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, head on over to Anchor or Spotify to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Follow at The Vulnerable Room on Instagram or visit thevulnerableroom.com for the latest tea. See you next time. Love you all and have a great week.